And there you go. We are live. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Randsanity, episode 219. I've been doing this for 219 days straight. If you've missed episodes 1 through 218, it's okay because it's the same stuff, different information every night. Same sort of format. You know, I tell you what's going on with the news. I give you some history lessons. I give you some more news. I tell you who was born. I tell you who died. And I throw in my own take on everything because I have a comment on everything. So that's, that's how that works. I was a radio guy for 35 years. So I know lots of radio industry stuff. I've met lots of bands, hung out with lots of people, done lots of things. So I'm always happy to say hello and let you know. Where am I from? I am from Columbus, Ohio, originally from New York City. But that is irrelevant at this moment because right now I am wherever I am in your house, in the world, and in my basement. All right, so we're going to start the story off tonight with a little bit of news. Now, this one's not so great news. This is a little bit like you're like, oh, okay. Well, everybody gets hacked at some point, right? There was that Ashley Madison hack some years ago where every cheating spouse under the sun was going to get outed because of Ashley Madison. Well, something like that may be happening again. Shiny Hunters, a subgroup of a hacker collective known as The Calm, claims to have stolen more than 200 million records tied to Pornhub premium users. Yeah, that's right. About 94 gigabytes of data if you're keeping score at home, kids. The haul allegedly includes email addresses, search histories, viewing and download activity, video titles, keywords, timestamps, and approximate locations. They know who you are, and they know the freaky stuff that you're into. Pornhub's the world's largest porn site, and it says the breach did not originate from its own systems. Instead, the data appears to have come from Mixpanel, a third-party analytics company that Pornhub stopped using in 2021. That doesn't help you, though. This suggests the exposed information is several years old, though for most people, what you were, watching in 2021 is likely just as embarrassing as what you're watching today. In a statement from Pornhub, it said that passwords, payment details, and financial information were not compromised. Yay for you. Shiny Hunter was reportedly been sending extortion emails to Pornhub, demanding payments in Bitcoin to prevent the data from being published. A small sample shared with journalists demonstrates the specificity of the analytics data, capturing individual users' actions down to specific searches and video views. Oh, man. Woo. Hopefully you didn't drop that credit card on Pornhub. That's going to be a problem. So far, cybersecurity firms say they have not seen the data publicly leaked. Speaking to InfoSec, the tech news site into Bleeping Computer, Mixpanel disputed that the data came from its most recent November 25 breach, saying, that wasn't us. Saying there's no evidence that the Pornhub data was taken during that specific breach. So they've had others, apparently. Oops. The company claims the data was last accessed through a legitimate account in 2023, which raises questions about how the information ultimately ended up in the hackers' hands. So, yeah, your Pornhub information is out there if you, in fact, subscribe to Pornhub and paid money. Oops. Someone's going to be embarrassed at work. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, again, they're like, well, it wasn't this hack. Well, how many of you had? And again, it's... You just have to think about, all this cybersecurity and stuff. The more information that we put out there, the more ability for people to use it for nefarious purposes. It's sort of like, if you don't do anything illegal, who cares if people see what you're doing? I mean, I do. I don't want people to know every single detail of stuff I do. I mean, some of the conversations you have are private. They have nothing to do with doing something nefarious or illegal, but still, I mean, if you're an adult and you're in a state that you can, view that Ohio now you have to, put identity. You can't just anonymously even view Pornhub. You have to put in your identification because Ohio is a nanny state at this point. And they're like, oh no, you're not 18. We have to make sure we want to access who is doing bad things so that we can then put you in a database somewhere. I mean, it's getting to the point where we're becoming monitored for everything by everyone all the time. As I stand here in my basement looking at a camera, talking into the World Wide Web. Is that hypocritical? I don't know. Just saying. Anyway. All right. Let's do a little history. 1956, Elvis Presley performed in the gym at Randolph High School in Mississippi. This was the last time he ever appeared in a small auditorium. Because remember, from 1955 to the end of 1956, so this is now 1656, Elvis Presley went from 0 to 1,000. He played 200 shows. He got a 7-year deal with the movies. He got all this money, and he just exploded. So this is the year that Elvis Presley just goes crazy and makes it happen. In 1958, the Flying V Gibson Guitars launched its Flying V electric guitar. Guitarists who played the Flying V include Albert Collins, Jimi Hendrix, Mark Bolan, and Billy Gibson from ZZ Top. So the Flying V has been around since 1958. Think about that. That's pretty historic right there. That's close to 70 years that guitar's been rocking around here. And again, Gibson's still a well-known name. 1962, Elvis back in the news. He had his third '1 hit with Blue Hawaii. It spent 18 weeks on top of the charts. So he was already moving it, making it happen. In 1964, the first night of a 14-day UK tour, Group Scene 1964, featuring the Rolling Stones, the Ronettes, Marty Wilde, the Swinging Blue Jeans, and Dave Berry and the Cruisers played at the Granada Theater, Harrow on the Hill in Middlesex. I don't even know why I read that because that didn't even make sense to me. In 1967, the band The Who played their first gig of this year when they appeared at Morecambe Pier in England. They played over 200 gigs in 1967, including their first ever U.S. tour. The Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour started an 8-week run at #1 on the U.S. album chart. It was the group's 11th U.S. chart topper, 1968. Now this one, Carly Simon's You're So Vain, had Mick Jagger on backing vocals. I had no idea. It started a 3-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles chart. The distinctive bass guitar intro that's played by Klaus Waterman was designed the cover of the Beatles, the 1966 album Revolver. In 2015, after keeping quiet for more than 40 years, Carly Simon admitted that You're So Vain was about Warren Beatty, but only one verse of it. Simon said the other verses were about 2 other men. Carly, what's going on, man? She got all sorts of verses about other men. So Warren Beatty, 2 other men? What was Carly doing in the 70s? Sounds like Carly Simon was getting busy. Hey, Randy, hope you're well. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Shane Rocky. Shane Rocky. In 1975, Pink Floyd started sessions at Abbey Road Studios, London, for the next album, Wish You Were Here. The 9th studio album was released on the 12th of September of 1975, and it featured Shine On, You Crazy Diamond, a tribute to Syd Barrett, whose mental breakdown had forced him to leave the group 7 years earlier. And oddly enough, today is Syd Barrett's birthday. He died in '06, but he would have been on this day, the 6th of January, 80 years old. So very, very interesting that they released that, that they talked about this on this day with Syd Barrett. And again, today is his birthday. Happy birthday to the dead Syd Barrett. Oh, Led Zeppelin, what are you doing? The mayor of Boston canceled the Led Zeppelin concert after over 2,000 fans rioted trying to buy tickets. Come on, really? Mayors, you're not supposed to cancel concerts, all right? That's not how that works. The fans caused an estimated $50,000 to $75,000 damage to Boston Garden. The gig during the band's North American tour was rescheduled for February the 4th. All right. I mean, you had to get tickets by waiting in line back then, so I'm sure there was a bunch of people waiting in line, and they just rioted trying to get tickets. It happened. I mean, I never rioted trying to get tickets, but we did wait at the record store many nights in Rahway, New Jersey to try and get tickets for shows at Madison Square Garden. Hi, Isaac Floyd. Yes, I am the independent radio guy. What's going on, man? Nice to see you out there in the virtual world. 1977, EMI Records dropped the punkest punk band that ever existed, the Sex Pistols, giving the band $68,000 to release them from their contract. We will pay you money just to go away. How's that? Take money and just go away. Oh, that makes me sad. We love you. We hate you. We love you. We hate you. You didn't make us enough money. We'll give you money. Go away. Now, how's this one for you, okay? In 1979, the Village People scored their only UK #1 single with YMCA. At its peak, the single was selling over, ready for this one? 150,000 copies a day. Again, 150,000 copies a day. That's nuts. That is an insane amount of sales. It's just, it's just nuts. Now, this is fun because the commentary with it comes is, in the gay culture from which the group sprang, shocking, the song was understood as celebrating the YMCA's reputation as a popular cruising and hookup spot. Okay, if you weren't aware of that, let me just repeat that one more time. In the gay culture from which the group sprang, the song was understood as celebrating the YMCA's reputation as a popular cruising and hookup spot. Again, in case you were unaware. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. 1987, Eric Clapton started what would become an annual event by playing 6 shows at the Royal Albert Hall in London. Eric Clapton continued to do that for decades. I don't know if he still does, though. I'm not sure. In 1990, Phil Collins started a 3-week run at the #1 slot on the U.S. album chart with But Seriously, his 4th solo studio album. Happens to artists all the time, right? In 1993, it was reported that David Bowie had lost over $4.25 million in unpaid royalties to an Italian mafia-linked bootleg fraud. Oops. I mean, so someone bootlegged his stuff and made a lot of money, and David Bowie did not. You never know how that works, right? Totally not paying attention. That's what I get. See, the camera dies. I don't pay attention. I'm still trying to get this one fixed. I'm still trying to figure out how, in fact, I make that work. how in fact that problem can be resolved, that I don't have this camera do what it does is turn off at 20 minutes. And again, I think it's something to do with the settings on the inside. But again, I've had someone already give me the idea how to do it. If you know how to fix the D5300 Nikon, just tell me to make it so that it stops doing that. I tried the one setting that I was suggested, but the problem was that that setting didn't exist. And I was like, oh, here, go to open this setting. I'm like, it's not on the list, so it wasn't there. So maybe the camera's older or newer, more likely older than what it was. But yeah, that's the way that works. This one just, in 1997, George Harrison had 2 bronze busts worth $90,000 stolen from a garden at his estate in Henley-on-Thames in Oxfordshire. Thieves climbed a 10-foot wall and cut the figures of 2 monks from their stone plinths. Yes, I said plinth. It's actually a word, P-L-I-N-T-H-S, plinths. Hi, Alex. Well, I miss CD 101 too. Duh. I mean, right? I get it. I totally get it, man. I miss it too. If I could unmiss it, I would totally unmiss it. Believe me. I would absolutely unmiss it. I promise. There would not be a problem with that. Let's see. So, in 1998, Trisha Yearwood and LeAnn Rimes were each nominated for Best Country Vocal Performance by a Female for their versions of How Do I Live. This was the first time in Grammy history that 2 renditions of the same song competed against each other. Again, how? Rimes took the Diane Warren penned song to number 2 on the U.S. charts, where it spent 34 weeks. Trisha Yearwood's version was featured in the film Con Air. That's how. Because I was like, how? I mean, record companies don't typically release stuff like that at the same time because they don't want things like that to happen. Now, it doesn't say who won, so if either of them won, I don't know. But they both were nominated, so apparently that's all that really matters, right? In 2001, Pink Floyd's guitarist David Gilmour won the right to his .com name. Dave took legal action in his battle to reclaim davidgilmour.com from Andrew Herman, who had registered the URL and was selling Pink Floyd merchandise through the site. Okay, well, look. Now, if you aren't warily enough to get your own name when you're someone like David Gilmour, that's kind of on you, all right? You know, Andrew Herman, if he got it and he wants to sell it back, that's okay. But selling the URL stuff, you know, or selling Pink Floyd merch through the URL, well, that's kind of deceptive. And I think probably fraudulent. So I would think that, you know, not only did David Gilmour win the right to get his .com name, probably also got Andrew Herman to get in a bit of trouble himself because of the fact that, yeah, that's fraud, man. You can't be stealing someone's identity to sell their shit. I mean, just saying, that just seems a bit shady. In 2005, U.S. CD sales rose for the first time in 4 years. The CD format accounted for 98% of the 666 million albums sold. That's right, 666, the devil. According to research company Nielsen SoundScan, also the devil, a total of 140 million digital tracks were legally downloaded during 2004, equivalent to 14 million albums. R&B star Usher was the biggest selling artist with his album Confessions, selling 8 million copies. Other top sellers of the year were Norah Jones, Eminem, and country stars Kenny Chesney and Gretchen Wilson. The UK recorded a record year for album sales in 2004 with 237 million albums sold. The Scissor Sisters proved the most popular album of the year, followed by Keane and Maroon 5. Well, we always knew the British didn't have a good taste. Kidding. marketing. Oh, Miss Dynamite. Come on. Boo. Boo. Miss Dynamite was charged with assaulting a police officer and disorderly conduct in 2006. The singer allegedly punched a female officer in the face, bruising her nose while in custody. She had been arrested after allegedly kicking the door to the Paragon Lounge nightclub in London and was said to have been abusive towards officers who questioned her. I wonder what time in the morning that was, and I wonder how many cocktails Miss Dynamite had. She sounds like it was an explosive evening. Yes, I did that. I went with that pun. Explosive. Dynamite. Yeah, I know. I suck. In 2006, Lou Rawls died at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. The American soul jazz singer, 72-year-old Grammy-winning artist, had been battling lung cancer. Rawls, who released more than 60 albums, sold more than 40 million records, had the 1976 number 2 and UK number 10 singles, You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine. You'll never find another love like mine. Smooth sounds. Lou Rawls, smooth sounds. Gotta love that. More Elvis. A collection of Elvis Presley memorabilia bought by a council worker who embezzled nearly $850,000 was set to be sold to compensate the local authority. Julie Wall, 46, from Ripon Drive in Sleaford, was jailed for 3 years for the offense in the October of 2005. The collection, which included rare recordings and foreign pressings of Elvis songs, was to be auctioned off by High Court receiver to provide compensation for the stolen goods. Oh, man, Julie Wall. What are you doing, huh? Let's see. Flying Burrito Brothers. Nope, don't care. Norway announced that it would become the first country in the world to gradually stop using the FM radio network. Boo. Boo, Norway. The move, which aimed to ditch the analog platform in favor of digital one called Digital Audio Broadcasting, or DAB, would bring a clearer sound to the nation's 5 million people. Boo. All that is government intervention. Come on, Norway. You can't ditch FM. Radio's important. That was 2017. I wonder if they ditched it. Not that I know. I just, no idea. Still, Norway sucked for that one. In 2022, American singer Calvin Simon died at the age of 79. He was a former member of both Parliament and Funkadelic, who had the 1978 number 16 album One Nation Under a Groove. He is a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, inducted in 1997, along with 15 other members of Parliament Funkadelic. George Clinton had something to say about that, I'm telling you. 2024, it was reported that female artists had recorded a record year in 2023, and the UK singles chart spending more weeks at number one since beginning records in 1952. For 31 of the 52 weeks, female acts topped the charts either as solo artists or in collaboration with other musicians. Miley Cyrus had the biggest song of the year with the breakup anthem Flowers, attracting 198 million streams. Miley Cyrus. Haven't heard her name or spoken her name in a minute. Interesting. You would think it'd been like Adele or, I don't know, Taylor Swift. But that's just me. That's just me. I don't know. All right. Well, that was not most of the music history. I might have a little bit of stuff to throw back in there in a little bit, but just for now, we'll just end it on that one. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to just jump into the Wayback Machine a little bit here because, that's what always is great. But this is some songs, all right? I'm going to give you a couple songs, 4 songs. And these are 4 songs that will instantly transport you back to the high schools of 1990. All right, the 1990s. These are 4 songs. Indeed, the 90s, the era feels like every type of music was on the rise. I don't know, for those of you that spent many a teen year in that decade, there are a lot of songs that can instantly transport you back to high school. Now, I know that you're thinking, were you even in high school in the 90s? We've all read that, maybe I wasn't, but, somebody was. What I have to do is just tell you that the 90s had a lot of great music. And these are just some that will make you feel like you could fall right back to it. So these are probably songs that the school bus driver was kind of sick of hearing, So this would be kind of a list for it, Nothing But a G by Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. The explosion of West Coast hip-hop in the early 90s set the stage for a cultural phenomenon that would literally change the world forever. It also had high schoolers burning through batteries in their Sony Walkman cassette players. Look, maybe I wasn't personally there, but I can absolutely understand the pure, unadulterated confidence that one would drip while jamming Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg's Nothing But a G thing in your headphones while walking through homeroom in 1992. All right, next, come on. Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. I mean, it's as angsty as fun as you can have it. I mean, during an era when brooding was practically a prerequisite for being a rock star, the New York trio said, bet, and then made a song that is both an emotional steam release and as well, it's just fucking fun. Come on. All right, let's also not pretend it's not one of the most iconic videos of all times, because it is. I mean, come on. Sabotage? You got to love that. Okay. Now, it may not be my favorite, but one of the quintessential high school experiences in the late 90s was Limp Bizkit. Of course, the hormonally explosive teen boys were quite captivated by the rage of Nookie. Look, I'm not condoning it. The tragic reality, however, is that they're playing nonstop in locker rooms and on school buses. You wanted to believe or at least pretend that they were so cool, that they did it all for the Nookie, which in hindsight is so pathetic and stupid. We probably didn't even know what it was when it was staring us in the face. But damn, the song gets you pumped up at karaoke these days, I'm sure. And then lastly, from the first chord, this song just became an anthem for a generation of teenagers and young adults. Dudes. We all like TV and prank phone calls. And, I guess even streaking was a thing to do in the town in the middle of the day. Maybe all those aren't applicable. It's a completely blank statement. But I enjoyed seeing this just this summer. So punk rock was breaking out. And in 1999, Blink-182 was very much leading the charge, and high school boys fucking loved it. Example, think about the prank calls, nothing about how to act on a date. It's an album called Enema of the State, which featured adult film star Jenna Jameson or Linda Miller on the cover. A tailor-made recipe for immature high school freshmen, which most men still are, because, again, who didn't love What's My Age Again? Blink-182. Gotta love them. I do love them. I saw them this summer. I will see them again. 1963 brought us The Mutual of Omaha with Marlon Perkins on TV. It's The Wild Kingdom. I think that was the first ever. I think I saw episodes of that. I think that was the first ever animal TV show ever, where the guy would bring animals onto late night shows like Jack Hanna did from Columbus Zoo and everything else. It's kind of crazy crap. In 1973, School of Rock Schoolhouse Rock started on TV on this date, January the 6th, 1973 on ABC TV. And in 1975 on NBC TV on January the 6th, Wheel of Fortune. Oh, you got to love that. Right? Oh, man. All right. My last little newsy segment, is one that you probably heard about, but it just kind of stings a little. So I thought I'd bring it up because it definitely affects the music world. Today, leaders of the Corporation of Public Broadcasting, which is a private agency that has steered federal funding to PBS, NPR, and hundreds of public television radio stations across the country, voted yesterday to dissolve the organization that was created in 1967. CPB has been winding down since Congress acted last summer to defund its operations at the encouragement of President Trump. Its board of directors chose Monday to shutter CPB completely instead of keeping it in existence as a shell. CPB's final act would be to protect the integrity of the public media system and the democratic values by dissolving rather than allowing the organization to remain defunded and vulnerable to additional tax, said Patricia Harrison, the organization's president and CEO. It's been accused that the public broadcasting, particularly in news programming, of being biased toward liberals, but it wasn't until the control of Congress that these criticisms turned into actions. Rupert Calvert, head of CBB's board of directors, said the federal defunding of public media has been devastating. Even at this moment, I am convinced that public media will survive and that a new Congress will address public media's role in our country, but it's critical to our children's education, our history, and democracy to do so, Calvert said. When cuts were announced in the summer of 2025, Terry Laconan, the producer of long-running live performances stalwart Austin City Limits, told CBS affiliate KEYE it was a kick to the gut. The show is produced by Austin PBS station KLRU, which received funding from CPB. Lacona told the news station the expectation was Austin City Limits would have a 25% budget hit. Also last summer, the producer of National Public Radio's Tiny Desk Concert said that show was not shutting down. I've heard from many friends and family and audience members who are worried that this NPR Tiny Desk is shutting down. It is not, host and producer Bobby Carter told X on August 3rd. Unfortunately, CPB is shutting down. I encourage everyone to support the public media and donate. I appreciate all the calls, texts, and messages that have been overwhelming and heartwarming. Tiny Desk is produced by NPR itself rather than by a local affiliate, so the loss of CPB grants is more diffuse and less dramatic. CPB said it's financially supported by the American Archives of Public Broadcasting in an effort to preserve historic content and is working with the University of Maryland to maintain its own records. RIP PBS. Just one of those things. Shit happens, right? All right. Who did die? Who was born today? Just because I thought this was great. This guy's name, I don't know anything about him. He died a long time ago, but his name was Buddy Weed. And he was known in Penthouse Party. So, yeah, if you got a name like Buddy Weed, of course you're having a penthouse party. Because everyone's like, my Buddy Weed. No, literally, that's my name, Buddy Weed. No, not. I'm not your buddy. I'm Buddy. My last name's Weed, Buddy Weed. Someone was playing a joke on their kid, you know. Earl Scruggs died in 2002. He would have been 102 today. Earl Scruggs and the Foggy Mountain Boys. Syd Barrett of Pink Floyd, who died in 2006, would have been 80 years old today. Michelle Hauser, Widespread Panic, would have been 63 today. Michael, he died in 2002 as well. Mark O'Toole of Frankie Goes to Hollywood, relax, don't do it. when you want it. 61 years old today. Gary Weiserman of Bowling for Soup, 55 years old today. Alex Turner of the Arctic Monkeys is 40. Holy crap, I can't believe Alex Turner is 40 years old. My great story about Alex Turner is that he came to do a show at the radio station, and he had a pair of aviator Ray-Bans, and he broke his glasses, and he was just in a sour mood, and he was, just mad that he had done that, and he was coming to do this record, performance thing at the radio station, and I was like, oh, let me see those. So I take his glasses and I go downstairs, and of course my desk is filled with just crap galore, and I've got a eyeglass repair kit. So I just bent the little temple back, an extra screw, screwed it back in. I'm like, here, they're all fixed. And his eyes just lit up, and he was just like, that just made my day. I'm so very happy. And he was just all like smiles and glee after that. He had such a good time hanging out at the radio station after that. Simple things in life, ladies and gentlemen. Just the simple things in life sometimes. Who else? Rowan Atkinson. Mr. Bean is 71 years old today. Norman Reedus of The Walking Dead is 51. I met him. That man smoked more cigarettes than Sinead O'Connor or Snoop Dogg smoking blunts. And Snoop Dogg smokes 80 blunts a day. Okay? 80. I was going to get into that tonight, but I didn't get my all math. So that'll be tomorrow. So come back tomorrow. Don't forget, because I'm going to talk about the 80 blunts a day that Snoop Dogg smokes. 80 blunts. Norman! Yes. Norman Reedus. That's crazy, right? Ugh. Nuts. And Cam McCain, 42 years old. What? I don't even know what I wrote. It happens. And sometimes my handwriting is fucking atrocious. It happens. What can I tell you? Let's see. Died today. Sidney Poitier, first black man to get the Academy Award. He was also a huge advocate for equal rights. And he died at the age of 94. We talked about Lou Rawls. He died at 72. Ron Ashton of the Stooges died on this day at the age of 60. And then we talked about Calvin of the Parliament Funkadelics. Died at the age of 79. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I was talking a little earlier today with a buddy who does record promotions. And he was just saying how the industry has so shifted. Mr. Mandy. Miss Mandy, how are you, Miss Mandy? I'm good. I'm just, just doing my thing, hanging out here, making a show, trying to keep the world entertained in this crazy world that we're living in. But I was talking to my friend, and he was basically saying how these riffs, reduction in force at these record labels has just been Herculean, that they've been slowly easy people out the door, and that there's no one left. There's none of these locals anymore. There's no the local record reps that used to go to radio stations just aren't there anymore. And it's definitely impacted how new artists are getting found. They're just scanning for TikTok, and they're just watching these people self-promoting. And, I've said it, but it's real that if they aren't finding 500,000 downloads or 1 million streams, that, these labels aren't even looking. Radio stations aren't even looking. And it's just getting harder and harder for artists to get discovered. So, go find new music. Look for new music. Enjoy that stuff. It's getting difficult for bands. So you got to go support local music no matter where you live. I said every band was a local band once, whether it's the Beatles, whether it's Nirvana, whether it's someone in your hometown. You never know. Mr. Brett Underwood, you never know. Guy I met on here, super nice, country guy. Let's see if he can, find a way to get him famous, right? Let's see, Blink-182 was the soundtrack for the American Pie movies. Yes, it was. Just a bit. Does that affect WCRS? I don't know. It might affect WCRS. Anything that's public radio is going to be affected slightly by PBS closing down. Again, it's losing funding, so any funding that gets lost is not a good thing. That's just unfortunate that we're losing funding to all of these things that, bring us music. Just, it is what it is. It's what it is. We really can't change that much. I wish we could. It would be nice. It would be nice. Anyway, I don't need to dwell on that fact. We all know that's how this works. So, yes. So tomorrow I will give you the scoop on Snoop Dogg's 80 spliff a day. And I'll actually dive deeply into the difference between a joint, a spliff, and because I had to find out all the information that there was. Because it's different. Some are tobacco, some is weed and tobacco, some is just weed, some is wrapped in paper, some is wrapped in cigar wrappers, some things are blunt, Oh, Miss Mandy, I miss it so much too. I do. Promise. If I had my druthers, we'd be rocking it this very moment. See what we can come up with. Still working on it. Never say die. Never say die. That's all I can say. Not say die. Right on. Right on. All right. So yeah, that's it. So, little recap action. If you subscribe to Pornhub, your information got stolen and hacked. So sorry. Hopefully it won't affect your job if they make it public or your marriage or whatever else. People will find out what your enjoyment was. So that's a little bit scary. Again, talked about some 4 songs that'll transport you back to the 90s. Blink 82, What's Your Name Again being one of them. That's 4 solid songs right there. I've got to say, if you got to think about What's Your Name Again by Blink 182, solid song right there. Nookie by Limp Bizkit, not my favorite, but, definitely a song. Sabotage by the Beastie Boys, hells yes. And of course, Nothing But a G Thing by Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. Those songs, if those don't transport you back to the 90s, nothing will. That is time travel at its finest right there. Sabotage, exactly. Come on, one of the best videos ever. There's a couple of videos I've seen that people have made with that in the background. There's a Conan O'Brien one where he walks into the office with Sabotage playing in the background, and it's just genius because basically he hears it in his head, but nobody else hears it. I totally want to reenact that. We almost had an opportunity to do something with that song and do exactly that. It did not come to fruition. Had it come to fruition, I would have absolutely been all about making that Sabotage video. Very similar to the Conan O'Brien one and stolen his grace. Who knows? Maybe I'll do it someday. I don't know. I've got a team of very competent individuals who seem to believe in my ridiculousness. So I will respect their opinion if it's something we should do or not. But anyway, all right. So, what's it, Tuesday night? Tuesday night. Fuck, it's Wednesday already tomorrow. The week just flies by when you're having fun, right? Totally. All right, so we'll do this again tomorrow, and we will try and come up with some exciting, interesting stuff for y'all. Tomorrow night, 11 o'clock, same bat channel, same bat frequency, right here, right now, doing my thing, making it happen. So, if you have any questions, you have any comments, you have any concerns, you know where to take it. Right here. All right. With that, I'm going to bid you a fond and farewell and adieu because it is getting late and I do turn into a pumpkin at midnight. And not the, carved pretty one. The, one that sat on your front porch and the squirrels started to eat, and it's slumping over and starting to get all goopy and stinky. So nobody needs that. Nobody wants that. So I'm just going to get out of Dodge before that happens. All right. I totally want to see you again here tomorrow. So please make sure you come back. I appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you. Yes, until tomorrow. I will see you then, and we will do this all over. Peace, and be well. Do good things. Fade to black. Good night.